We are so excited now to be joined by Syracuse women's basketball head coach Felisha Legette-Jack. And Coach, great to see you. And we actually got to talk with you last year before all of this came to fruition. So enjoyed that conversation. And I know that you were just having a blast being back. What's it been like for you?
It's been amazing. You know, it's different. I got to be honest. It's been 22 years since I've been home. It's different, but it's the same. And it's kind of oxymoron, right? It's like, what the heck does that mean? But it feels right. It feels like I'm comfortable in my sweatsuit, and I'm excited to be home.
Well, we love to hear that, Coach. And I remember after we did that interview, I'm not giving myself too much credit, but we finished it, and I said she should be the next head coach at Syracuse. Maybe they heard me. I don't know, Coach. But here you are.
I like that jacket. It's close to orange. I'm not
it can be orange. It can be red. It's whatever audience is in here. She knows how to do it.
We said orange.
It's orange. It's orange. But, Coach, you know, you've inherited such an interesting situation because you inherited very few players, but you brought a lot of your players from Buffalo, so I'm very excited about that. One player I can't wait to see is De'Asia Fair. I mean, she is one of the best scorers in the country, and you got her to come with you. I think that was your best recruiting hit of, you know, your first year. But what is she going to bring to the ACC and to Syracuse?
Familiarity. That's going to be really important to us. So through practices and drills and being able to say, okay, let's run this drill here, and they're like, what are you talking about? She jumps in the front of the line along with, you know, the rest of the gang, and that came from Buffalo. And they know the drills, they know the pace that we're trying to go at, and yeah, she can score and she can defend and she's a star player. But as a coach, first year at this institution, the familiarity is the most important.
I don't know if ACC fans are aware of how good De'Asia Fair is. Like, she's been on the WNBA watch list for years, and I'm calling your team Buffalo East right now because, baby, you brought it, and you have brought it. With it comes the culture of what you've done. You have coached in so many different situations, including with USA Basketball, so you've coached a lot of different talents. When you look at what you're putting together at Syracuse in your first year, coming into this league when it's really tough, this league is really tough.
Yes, it is.
I mean, what are you hoping that, besides winning, that you're going to be able to accomplish with your team?
Well, you know, I think we're going to stick with our blue-collar mentality. That's what we've done at Buffalo, and that's what we're going to do wherever I am. I love that, you know, bring your lunchbox, sit it down, go to work, and learn the lessons through the process, not disregarding what we're going to face in all the teams that's in this conference. I have a special place in my heart for each one of them, but I think that we're going to try to lock into who we are. You know, we're 14 new players, right? There's 4 that stayed and the 10 that we brought in. They're all new, and we're all excited, and this is our new normal. And I think that what you're going to see when we get out there is that we're going to go out there and respect the game by giving it our best effort every single time, and we're never going to think about losing. It's either we win the game or we win the lesson. But losing is not a part of our equation in this moment of newness.
Coach, what's your style? What's your style? I mean, in a perfect world, when you got your players, all right?
Yeah.
What in a perfect world, what is your style of basketball?
Defense, holding teams to 59 points or under. Offense, let's let the ball fly up the floor. I don't overcoach the game. I never give myself that kind of credit where I'm the reason why we have success. I think there's a game of beauty, and you got to let them play, and we play fast, and we're going to play the game by turning the ball over early because we're going to try to get the ball down the floor in 5 seconds, and the ball's going to fly all over. So I think that the fans that come to the games early should wear a helmet because it could be an issue. I'm not dealing with these lawsuits again, all right? No more, okay? So we're going to let it fly, and I'm going to allow these young ladies to love this game and learn lessons through this game.
Does John Wildhack aware of this helmet rule you're throwing in there?
Keep something secret.
Because I'm going to talk to Wildhack on Friday now.
I thought you and I was going.
We were buds. Now listen, we're buds. I just want to know ahead of time. And he says, hey, I heard your interview with Coach. And she's talking about hard hats. He wants to know what's going on. They just did all this renovation of the dome. I mean, the last thing he wants to hear is about hard hats.
I think the NIL thing for players is what it is. For me, I think an NIL and hard hats should be. Hey, you too can become a part of the jacket.
I like it. I like everything about it.
The pitch right now.
I'm ready.
That's awesome. You mentioned the Dome, and it's a place that you know very well. I'm actually going this weekend for the football game.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a great environment, too. How much are you looking forward to being back in that atmosphere?
It's surreal. It's exciting. You know, when I was a student athlete, we didn't play a lot of games in the Dome, but I think it was 6 times I played as a student athlete, and 6 times I got MVP. It's just, whether it's full, whether it's 5 people there, there's something about the openness and the electricity that exudes through those walls because of what men's basketball did, what football did, what lacrosse has done and is doing, and we're just going to get the residuals of that by just being there. And I think the attendance is going to get better because I'm from Syracuse. Whether they come or they don't come, I think that the electricity that's already in that building is going to get us to play at a higher level.
And the air conditioning now.
We got air conditioning. I want them to turn that thing off.
I bet you do. I bet you do.
Don't overdo it. Come on.
You sound like Dino Babers. Dino's like, hey, these are nice upgrades, but man, I like when people have to come in there and sweat.
Yes, indeed.
For sure.
I love it.
Coach, one player that does return is Tisha Hyman.
Yes, she is returning.
I mean, she blew me away last year because she was injured the year before, and she just came out and is an exceptional scorer. Love her game. How have you seen her buy into you coming in, and what do you expect from her this year?
You know, one thing I love about Tisha, she's a truth teller. When I first got the job, she just shared with me, I'm not going to trust you right away. Respect. You know, that's what this game is all about, helping young people really get to know who they are. And she told me right away, and as we got into more of the season, she said, it's getting better, Coach. And it's not 100% right now because I didn't bring her there. And it was traumatic what they went through. I don't downplay that, but I just share with her all the time, I will walk with you through this process. This is what I'm good at, is helping young people find their way. And it's not conventional, but I tell you one thing, player-wise, talent-wise, I see a lot of coaches shaking her hand saying, your name is? They don't really know who Tisha Hyman is.
Ooh, they should.
You will.
She'll put that to the memory bank, right?
If not, I'll help her with that as well.
Well, yeah, she's without a doubt one of your returners that I'm excited about. This story, though, for Syracuse, you bring in Lexi McNabb. The name McNabb, we all know it, and we all know it around Syracuse. And you coached her mom, who played at Syracuse. You were an assistant. We all know Donovan McNabb. Her story is really incredible. What are you excited about having another McNabb on campus? That's incredible.
Well, I really like that McNabb name, but that nurse name meant a little bit more to me because Roxy was a special player. Roxy was a tough young lady. We went down on multiple occasions down to Toronto to try to steal her away, and I just found Roxy to be one of the toughest players I've ever coached. And she never saw her size; she just saw her heart. Her heart. She stood 6'2". And that's why now she's in such an amazing situation as a trustee person, as well as all the things she does in Arizona. Donovan was a pretty tough guy too.
Yeah,
you all know about him. Yeah. And she has the blood flowing through her body, but she's going to tell her own story. And one thing I think the reason why she followed me to Buffalo, but now came to with me in Syracuse, I asked her to just be who she is. Her story is just as important. I never looked at Roxy as your Donovan's girlfriend at the time, wife now. And I'm never going to look at Lexi as I know your parents and this is what your parents would do. I think that's some excitement for her. And I think that she's going to be a great point guard. I think she's a heady point guard. She's a assist-first kind of point guard. And she knows she's angle smart defensively. I think that you're going to see her authenticity show its beautiful face.
I know you're a relationship builder. You've always been that. You mentioned the word trust. We were talking about trust with Wake Forest. You know, they're building trust with their new head coach. I mean, how much of a factor is that every day in practice when you're trying to build that through repetition?
You know, one thing about trust with me, I don't try to build it. I try to just be it. You know, if I be consistent enough, if I be honest enough, I tell, you know, when you tell the truth, when you tell a kid that you're just a terrible shooter, you're a great defender. When you get to the nail, you're really special. And you stick to it, and that kid works on that other craft of being a good shooter, then all of a sudden greatness shows itself. It's honesty. And so I try to be honest with our players, and the trust comes because we don't waver from, I will lose a player. I know this is a time of, you know, where everybody transfers every 4 hours. I'm open to that because I always tell them, all we have is right now. If we can get through right now and get better right now in this minute that we have with our feet are, I think that I did my job. That's a relationship not with them, but something higher than myself. I can look in the mirror. Will you be able to look in the mirror and say, did you give yourself everything you could in this hour or 2 hours that you were here? Because we're not promised of tomorrow. And that's where trust comes, because I say it every day as if it's the first time, because I believe it with everything I have. And kids know when you're coming from a good place. And I think that, you know, coming from a good place and being honest, it builds a trust. And trust is what they call organic. It becomes organic with the people that we're around.
I love that mindset. You can hear the passion that you have for coaching and for your players when you talk. And you mentioned how important it is that you have some of these players from Buffalo that have come into building the team. But also, how important is it to you that they believe in you, they believe in what you're doing, they want to be a part of what you're ready to build at Syracuse?
You know, that's second to them believing in themselves. You know, I'd rather them believe more in themselves than me. And I had lost some players as well. But through that loss, they realized they can still call me and really kind of get centered into themselves. I just want them to see what my mission is. I just never wanted to be a friend with 17 to 23-year-old kids. That's not my mission. I don't know the latest dances, but although I dance better than anybody on my team. I had to really think about that. I'm like, wait, I'm a pretty good dancer. But I just feel it's important that these parents give me their child for 4 or 5 years, and I promise them now I'll make them 1% better. I'm on that task daily. I don't have a lot of hobbies. My husband loves when I leave the house. I don't know what that means, but you know,
I'm there too.
My wife loves it when I leave the house.
Me too.
Yeah, what the
My
heck is
husband's
going on
happy
with
when I'm gone.
These partners.
Me neither.
But I really love the fact that they know that I'm just trying to make their dreams become a reality, because I did a lot of things with basketball, love what I've accomplished. I want them to have more experience and be better than I've ever been. And they're going to have to do a lot of work in order for that to happen. So we go in for the work. And so the trust me part, that's not what I'm here for. If they say they do, that's pretty cool.
Coach, you know, in football this year in the ACC, we got 4 new coaches. They're all on one side of the division in the Coastal. We have 4 new coaches in women's basketball. Brooke Wyckoff, of course, has had that experience a little bit, so she really isn't a newbie. But we do have 3 newbies. You're one of them. What's your relationship with the other new coaches in the league? Is there a conversation? Is there dialogue? Do you compare notes, or is it like, hey, you're on your own, I'm on mine. I'm trying to figure out Syracuse, you figure out about Wake, you figure out about Virginia.
Well, I don't say figure out. I'm just here, and I've been around for 34 years, and a lot of coaches communicate with me however they do. One coach is important out of all of them is Amaka Gugwa, who was my former player at Hofstra, and you know, it's a personal relationship where I want her to do well. I want everybody to do well, but I specifically want, you know, Coach Mox to do well because she's a part of our tree. But I certainly wish everybody well. But in honesty, I don't. I mean, I know coaches came in before, and the other older coaches reached out, and I'm not a new coach. I'm open to anybody want to hug, anybody want to talk, anybody. Because I can promise you, when you go 94 feet, I'm coming after it. You know? But outside of that, this is who I am 100% of the time. So.
Now, listen, I know the ladies over here, this is really the A team. They just invite me every now and then to just come hang out. But I will tell you this. Since I've been sitting here on this desk since 8 a.m., you, without question, have the best nail game of anybody.
Say it.
Nobody has been close.
Nobody even mentioned that over here. That's why
I didn't know Packer knew
I'm on the B team. I'm on the B team. Y'all A with B.
The only nail I know is right in the middle of the free throw line. That's the only nail I'm worried about.
I would say
I got you.
I
got you.
You and Deja Kelly. Deja
Kelly is
nails, right lime green.
They got to compare me to people. You know what? I don't care what your wife say behind your back.
You're going to take a man's point of view. Oh, yeah, because listen, women get, I'm going to be honest.
Oh, don't go man, women on me.
I am going to. A man's going to recognize that. So the fact that I'm just telling you, you got the best nail game of the day.
I think you got me doing a Michael Jackson.
I know
backwards because we just who we are.
So you make sure whenever you come on the PM show, you have your nails done, because he's going to want to know what color they are every time from now on.
Syracuse on.
This is what you do when you try to get a raise.
That's exactly right.
John Wildhack, if you're looking.
Cannot wait to see you this season. Thanks so much for being with us.
Hey, thank you. Hey, go Orange.